So we are live with Will from Tatro Toys, more specifically, hand-built magnetic toys. That's a mouthful. And he is a staple in my household. He is a staple in my niece's household. So I thought that we'd have him on to talk a little bit about what he's doing. Will, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Dude, we're doing great. We're doing
Awesome.
great. My kid loves his toys, but it's not just the toy, it's also the community-oriented stuff you're doing these days that I want to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. What is Tatro Toys?
Sure. So Tatro hand-built magnetic toys is based on a toy I created for myself when I was a kid. I created a little playset, and I eventually went to New York and studied design. I moved to Los Angeles. When I thought of the business idea to come back to this toy, I moved back home to Louisiana, reduced my overhead, built the toy for about 2 years, and then launched the product last year.
So what is up with the name of the company? I had to ask you, where did that name come from?
So I get that a lot, and I wish I had a better story, but it is basically, I looked at Greek words, and I wanted something that was strong and short, and I found an A, I found an O. I thought it was great, put it together, Tatro, and then I started just pitching it to people when I was at events, and they thought about it for a split second, but not too much.
It works. I mean, it's a great name.
They remember it. Right?
Yeah. So before we get into toys, what were you doing out in LA before you got into the toy?
I was taking a break for about 2 years, actually.
Okay.
I studied design in New York, like I said. I worked in production there. And I was there for 10 years. And then I realized I kind of did everything I wanted to do there. So that's when I moved out to Los Angeles. And I worked retail for 2 years. I took a break. I looked into film and production, but this itch of this creative idea was still kind of happening. And that's what brought me back home.
So I think my sister-in-law first encountered your company at a makers event.
Yeah.
Tell the audience a little bit about, I mean, it's magnetic toys, but that's a profound understatement. Tell the folks out there a little bit about what the idea is behind your toys and what you're doing.
Sure. So like the big overall idea of it? Yeah. So the overall idea or the mission of the company is expression through imagination. And that's what drives everything that we do. The magnetic part just came into it because I wanted something that was, a toy that was reusable. We could have done paper, we could have done stickers, but I wanted something that was reusable and durable. So that brought me to the magnetics. And then the hand-built part of it became something that I found as we went to these makers markets and started interacting with the customers. They really, really valued authenticity. They valued a story. They valued something that was just very real and tangible. And that's kind of what brought it all together.
So some of the various themes, I mean, and I want the audience out there to imagine a stage where the child is essentially the actor, the director, the producer. He's doing everything. So what kind of themes have you done with this toy or with this stage?
Yeah, so we started with some fairy tale ideas. I talked to some parents, and the first feedback I got were a castle, a forest, a village, things like that. And so we started going down that road. And then I realized that there was some kind of barrier between maybe that customer and maybe another customer. And I started bringing boards to markets or to events. And I had this big board on an easel, and I would say, what world do you want to see? And I would just get the kids to just like write down a Post-it note, like, what do you want? Do you want unicorn? Do you want dinosaur? What do you want? And I would take all those when I got home, and I literally would put each one out. And if I had 5 of unicorn, great. That was more important than the 3 of dino right now, right? So we did that, and that's pretty much how I got those things going.
So test market wise, it was the very kids playing with your toys.
Absolutely.
So when COVID-19 hit, you kind of changed gears a little bit. And again, one of the reasons you're here, Will, is I love the community-oriented stuff you're doing right now. So I want you to talk a little bit about what you did at Mestizos, what you kind of did on Easter, because that stuff's important for what's going on right now.
Yeah, so I think the really important thing here, especially if we're looking at like businesses or people who want to help the community, I'm not someone who sews. I'm not someone who works in the medical field. where there are a lot of people that do and can really help on that front. I don't have that power, that platform, but my power and platform is creativity and imagination. And what I found early on when the pandemic hit was that a lot of parents were looking for creative things to do. Their kids were stuck at home. The biggest issue was they had to work while their kids were at home, so they had to keep them busy. And I found as it progressed, they just got more and more just not, I don't say crazy. I mean, I think a lot of parents are going crazy, but they just had more and more of a need to just keep staying creative and imaginative. So that's where we fit in. So I thought, okay, how can we do that? How can we meet the community where they are in a really, really simple way? And so that became the arts and crafts pickup bags that we did at Mestiza. And we did that 3 times. We did it once, it went so well. Second time, really, really well. And the third time, it was right before Easter. So we decided to do Easter bags. And I thought, okay, what's a big need right now? If, creativity and imagination is great, we can provide that to them, but what's missing from this equation? And I thought, well, why not just do a drive-by Easter bunny photo? That'd be kind of cool, right? It'd be super easy. They drive by, take a photo, and you're on your way. So I pitched the idea to Jim and Weisel at Mestizo, and they were like, absolutely, let's do it. Like, hands down, let's do it.
I mean,
so,
of course, it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, no, it's funny because I wasn't even coming to them as like, hey, this would be a cool business thing. I was like, this would be a great thing for the community. So that's how that developed, and it a huge hit.
So there is a pureness to that, right?
Absolutely.
And candidly, the kits, the bags you were making, we are trying to figure out at any given moment, what can we do with our child to get us from one thing to the next thing to the next thing without rotting his brain with TV and YouTube and all that stuff. So now,
Absolutely.
if folks wanted to get their hands on your stuff when we weren't in a pandemic, they could go to a maker's event, they could see you, they could touch it and feel it. But we are where we are right now. So if they want to get more information about you guys as a toy company, where would they go?
So they can go to us online, www.tatrotoy.com, or to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/tatrotoy, TATROTOY. We just launched 2 personal shopping options, which are available on the website, which is a way for us to really engage and meet the customer at their need, which is just get some toys to them, get things that are creative to them, and get it out the door.
So somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, that it's a family business in so much as your parents are helping you make some of these toys. Is that, and not to put you on the spot, is that true?
No, that's okay. Yeah, my parents came out of retirement to help me with this.
So what's the bigger picture? What's the game plan? You are an entrepreneur in Baton Rouge. You've got a very cool idea. You're doing, it looks like you're doing well. I mean, what's the game plan?
So I'm looking at about 2 to 3 years. I'm not looking to plan, further than that. And right now, the game plan, it's funny you ask that because we are in a space where I had a game plan and that game plan also changed.
Right.
So I knew that going into this year, the game plan was to focus on customer loyalty and customer engagement. So how can we really connect with the customer where they are? And honestly, that just kind of in the pandemic, it worked out even better that we get that opportunity to really, really be personal with them and really connect. The other thing is to focus on, with the shift now, is focus on online sales. So without the markets right now, we are putting more work into the website, into the new personal shopping services, which honestly, in the first day of the launch, has already just done pretty well. And then we're focusing on I call it my product portfolio, that is working on lower cost items for the customer. The toy runs, $49.95 for the bigger playset. And we want something that is very easily be like grab and go kind of thing. Like, that's cool, it's magnetic, it's creative, let's go. So that's something that we're working on right now. And the strategy is just to create all these different price points and then start working out on each product line and continue to build out those product lines.
Well, I've noticed it's really a gateway towards creativity.
Absolutely.
just because they're done playing with the toy. And I say they because I have a niece that's 1 year older than my son. So they're like peas and carrots. They transition that creativity into what they draw, what they are doing, arts and crafts. My son today and my wife, his mom, my son today and his mom made a robot. Just with sticks and it was just like, and it was the best robot he had ever made because it was the only robot he's ever made. So, so again, price point wise, you're looking under $50 for the package, but you're looking to kind of make it a little bit more accessible at a lower tier, right? I like, one of the things I like about the company is, and you touched on it, customer loyalty. One of the things that I thought was really nice is you absolutely check on your customers. Whether it's a little bitty, whether my kid's wearing a Tatro mask and by the way, you have to talk about the masks. The masks were, I cannot even describe it. I don't know if Fisher had a dragon or an alligator, but it was like something with teeth. And so talk a little bit about the mask that you're making right now.
So, again, I'm not a sewer, but I'm constantly looking at where my customers are and where they might be in 2 weeks, in a month, in 2 months, where are consumers going? And I truly believe that my core customer is really looking to not only protect their family, the adults, but really protect the kids as well. Even though I think some state laws or federal laws as well, and I could be partially wrong on this, but I believe most of them are saying under 10, they don't really need to wear a mask out in public. But I know that my customer base is really gonna want to do that. They want to protect their kids, they want to protect everyone that they love. So with that idea, I just thought up some designs of that would be a creative mask. And basically we are going to base them on the themes that we have. We're slowly building this out. But what your son got, what Fisher got, was based on our dinosaur theme.
Right.
And so it's a little dino, it's a little mask that the kid can wear, and it has a little mouth on it, and then it flaps up, and you got the teeth. And the whole goal with that. Oh, go ahead.
Not to interrupt you, I'm sitting in my law office right now, and my son walks in wearing this mask, and I'm like, "Oh, you're wearing a mask?" And he goes, "Watch this, Daddy!" And he opens up the flap, and I was like, "Where'd you get that from?" It was beautiful, beautiful. So I interrupted you. What's the full goal with this?
Yeah, so the goal, the real goal with this is that the assumptions that I'm making going into this are that parents are going to have a hard time to get these kids into masks that may look medical or that may not look good or fun or cute to them. So where I can meet them is to say, let's make it fun. Let's make it a game. Let's make it creative. And that's really the reason for these masks. I know nothing about sewing. Like, I've hired seamstresses to put this together, and that's what they're doing. But that is the true reason behind it, is really to bring down stress, bring down anxiety, and make the barrier to protecting the kids much easier for the parents.
Well, and depending on how old your kid is, my child understands that something's going on.
Yeah.
He understands that people are getting sick and that we have to do certain things. He understands social distancing because he uses that phrase. But in the same breath, if my child sees everybody else wearing a mask and isn't wearing a mask, there's a reaction to that. And then also, candidly, even if he doesn't need to be wearing a mask, it's fun. It's something that's creative. It's fun. It helps him. He runs around acting like a dinosaur, which he loves dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
So, okay. One more time, if they want to get more information about you guys, your website again is?
It's tatrotoy.com, TATROTOY.
Anything else on the horizon that we need to know about, Will? I mean, Will, this was a short and sweet one. I'll get you on the radio show in a couple of weeks to talk more about this. But anything else that we need to know about? This is just a Sunday Facebook live video that Geaux Rouge is going to be publishing. But anything we need to know, or anything you want to tell the audience?
Sure. I mean, I really just want to say our goal at the end of the day is truly expression through imagination. Whether it's hand built, whether it's magnetic toys, that's just kind of where we ended up with the material and with the product. But we just want people to play, because when they're playing, they're doing the things that are innately them. And that's the most important thing. Because when you're doing things that are innately you, you're doing things that are going to support you for the rest of your life.
Tatro magnetic handheld magnetic toys. Will Barrios, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lots of people that know you have been speaking well about you.
Okay.
We are in love with your toy company. Shout out to Chelsea. Chelsea said that you're good people, so that was enough for me. And certainly leading by example, some of the things you've been doing with your company have just been hitting the heartstrings. So we'll get you on the radio show as well. But look, we wanted to give you a little shout out because I noticed you've been doing some great stuff. Franz Borkhardt from Geaux Rouge. I've been chatting with Will from Tatro. Guys, have a great Sunday, and you will see us next Tuesday for another episode of Geaux Rouge.
Thank you.